Greetings, everyone. This is Reverend Dr. Mayaz with Melanie L. Smith today with a story to share with us. And I am honored and gratitude to be able to record this for you. Please
And
be.
I am honored to be here.
Amen. Go ahead.
Well, you and we spoke earlier. As a matter of fact, let me just give a little history. We
Thank you.
have been friends probably for the past 5 years. And the one thing that I can say is that I've always been inspired by just your positive, just spirit, what you give, the things that you give back. You are so open-minded and giving to others. And I think I know that's what makes you very special, Michelle.
Thank you. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that, but I
Yes,
appreciate it. Thank you.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Always.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I went into crisis mode this morning and you just, said some things that brought me right down to just basics of just staying positive, staying grounded, and just not allowing others to take your power, you know. And it was like, wow, once those words are spoken, it was like, okay, I'm good. Let me take my power back. Let me just get into my place of peace. And since then, and I tell you, Michelle, from today forward, I have no need to allow anyone to take my power. And that is the place I'm going to stay in and speak into of others,
I
So
love it.
absolutely. Absolutely. So let's, with that note, what are some of the things that you want to discuss or ask of me? And we'll go from there.
Pardon me. I'm still clearing from that episode I had myself last night. I'm
Yeah.
in healing mode, but it's all good.
Um,
My question to you was, what would you like to share about the experience that you had, maybe to someone else out there experiencing a similar situation, so that they can help keep themselves grounded the way you just did?
okay. So for me, I was going through this crisis mode of, just trying to speak positive energy into my kids, and one of the things that I find that even with adult children, you're never, you find that you'll always be in that mother mode. But at the same time, you have to allow them to grow. You can't always be involved in the daily, because if not, you will become so, just involved that you can't keep that clarity. And so this morning after our conversation, I thought, you know what? Let me not reach out. Let them reach out. Sometimes just staying in that mode of listening. Sometimes when they want to be negative, you can't go there with them. You have to find yourself in that mode of just staying encouraged, always speaking positive in them, even when one of them says to me, well, what's good about this morning? Or don't ask me how I'm doing. I can't engage in that energy. Despite what that energy looked like, I have to always say to that energy, but I'm just going to be who I am, because that's the only way that I know to be. So when I'm confronted with that, I don't care if it's every conversation. For me, it's good morning. How are you? Because I am looking for that one day that they will come back and say, life is good, things are great. So I've learned that, Michelle, I cannot bow down to those energies that sometimes I receive, and sometimes it can weigh you down. So there you go.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I had
Absolutely.
a couple other questions on my mind. And that's only if you feel like discussing it, because as sisters we have all had situations that like really took us to 0 point, and then we
Yeah.
had to rebuild ourselves from literally scraps of nothingness to keep strong for our children so that they have a brighter future tomorrow. And I didn't know if you had anything maybe to suggest for children, because we all have grandchildren, as words of wisdom from a sister who's been through it all, how to avoid getting into such situations, allowing, not realizing it, because we all repeat history of what we've learned from our parents and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, and bless them for all that they've done for us. But if you had anything maybe to say to the youth of today, how not to get themselves in those same situations that we went through, the struggle, what I'm talking about, right? Are you there? It froze. She'll be right back. There we go. We're back.
Okay.
So the question was, did you have anything you might want to suggest to the current youth, not
Yep.
to step in the same mistakes we did in our past situations in choosing mates, per se?
Oh, wow. Ooh, that's loaded.
I know, girl. You might as well get it all out. I called it keeping it real for a reason, because
Yes,
we're gonna
yes.
keep it
But
real.
yeah. You know what, Michelle? I had always heard about choosing a mate that is equally yoked, but not really understanding that it would avoid pitfalls in life. And sometimes you can think that that is the person that you've chosen, who, maybe they may not have all of the same values that you have, but most of them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the pitfalls that we fall into. But if I was to say, even to my grown, quote unquote, kids, especially grandchildren, I still say equally yoked, okay? Whatever that is, or however you define that to be. But at the same time, I would say don't compromise, because it's when you compromise, you will find that you will fall into the area of frustration,
because you lose
right?
yourself.
Yes, because the other person can feel like, hey, I've hit the jackpot. But if you've fallen short, you're going to be frustrated, unhappy. Why did I do this? Life ain't fair. It ain't right. And so you've got to ask yourself, if I compromise, how much am I willing to give of myself or lose of myself?
Exactly.
So that's what I would say to, the younger people.
Words of the wise. I love it.
I'm telling you. Yes.
Did you
Yes.
have anything else you wanted to say, to any issue you can think of that might be on your spirit, to anyone listening, going through depression? I mean, anything you're called to say,
Yeah.
and then I'll get to the other part.
My thing is, especially if you are going through depression, or you're going through a thing where it's just a woe me. Sometimes it's called life. It is, well, why not me? Okay.
Right.
And is it so bad? Because sometimes if you pick up a phone and just talk to other people, sometimes you realize that, well, my situation ain't as bad as it appears to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes you have to look into, what is it that I need to do that where I can pull myself out of this hole, if that's what you feel that you're in. Mm-hmm. What can I do to just inspire of other people? Because sometimes when we remove ourselves from our own situation, and sometimes find ourselves inspiring to other people, that can sometimes bring a healing. Sometimes it can put things in perspective. And, it's the giving back,
Mhm.
because we have to find ourselves in a place where we can feel good and to feel positive. And sometimes, Michelle, a lot of times it's about helping others, and putting ourselves on pause, so that's what I would say or add.
I'm glad you said that, because when I used to help people as best I could, through processes, we would have a list of numbers that they could call
Hmm.
just for an ear
Hmm.
through the crisis center of
Yes.
ministers, regular people like me and you, who would just agree to answer the phone on call at that particular time, so that whoever was calling, like a crisis line, but regular
Hmm.
people, not like through the government or anything, just a bunch of us that knew each other, and be like, hey, I don't know
Right.
what's about to come out, but I need to get it out some kind of way. Will you please be my ear and let it
Right.
flow? And I think maybe we ought to do that again, to keep it flowing, paying it forward, because
Right.
so many people are going through depression right now, and
And
without each
especially
other.
this
You
time
hit
of
it on the
year.
head earlier. You said, but it's the family that keeps
Hmm.
us stronger,
Hmm.
united at the end of the day. And even though we're not necessarily blood related, you
Right.
and I and other people know we could always call on each other and be like, look, I got this crazy blah blah blah, whatever it is, and know that you're not being judged for it. You just needed that
Right.
here. And hey,
Right.
snap back. Remember me? The one, yeah, we gonna get through this.
Right.
That level of unconditional love that you don't always get from blood related family members, because they're the ones dishing it to you. You know,
Absolutely.
sometimes it's the people in life that have been placed in your life that help you get to that next level, past the darkness that's consuming you. And I think
Absolutely.
that's the most important thing to put out. So everybody out there knows you are not alone. We are all going through something.
Something.
Whatever your test is what your something is. And we
Right.
all do our best to get through it, but we forget at the end of the day, we're just people trying to
Right.
make it and do the best we can to grow spiritually and be of better use to our loved ones, because at the end of the day, what else matters? You
Right.
work all day, you all night, all day, sometimes 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, it feels like. And you never even get to spend time with your loved ones because you're trying to pay the light bill that suddenly went up 100% or whatever. We get
Hmm.
caught in that rut of lack and
Yeah.
forget what we have in our life surrounding us every day is each other, you know? And that was all I wanted to say on that note. Do you have anything to add to that?
You know what, Michelle? Two things. One of the things that I say to my children, when you don't have family, you don't have anything.
That's
And
true.
a lot of times, a lot of people, I will say, when they find themselves with no place to go, homeless, whatever that situation is because they felt like they had no one else to turn to. Okay.
Exactly.
And so the second thing that I would say and caution even me, yourself, is that when we pour so much into other people, make sure that we surround other people that can pour into us. Because if our cups are empty, okay, we will empty and we will be of no value to them or ourselves. So
Exactly.
those are two things right there that I have to even remind myself of, you know?
So
So
basically, we just keep pouring each other cups of love and light and send them back and forth when they run dry.
absolutely.
And we get through
Absolutely.
it no matter what, because that's what sisters
Absolutely.
do in
Yes.
my world, or in
Yes.
my eyes, the way I see it. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is you have a business, correct?
Yes. Yes,
And
I
what
do.
is it that you enjoy so much about the business
So
that you do?
my business is I am a realtor.
Okay.
And pretty much I do the same thing because I'm engaged. I talk to people. And so whether it's on the buyer side or the seller side, it's I find myself, especially if it's a husband and wife, it's you're always engaging into their emotions. Okay.
Hmm.
Sometimes you're pulling them off the ledge. Sometimes you're getting them to even negotiate. It's like, okay, so you want this, he wants that. Where's the middle of the road, in this? And or, you have a buyer who may be just a single buyer, but they may be unrealistic based on price or what they're looking for. Or they may be in that price point, but still you find yourself, I don't care if it's negotiating with the other party, whether it's the buyer or seller on the other side, you're negotiating, making them feel warm and fuzzy that you're looking out for their best interest. So it's all the time just finding yourself being a listening ear, uh, adding value by giving advice. And 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty good at, getting people to listen. So, but yeah, that's what I do. I'm a realtor.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
How would someone reach you if they wanted to contact you to do a real estate search? And what areas do you cover? Do you just cover Georgia? Do you do residential, commercial, the whole shebang?
Absolutely. So primarily my background is residential. I don't go outside of it. But I will do referral if you're looking for commercial. And I go just about anywhere in Georgia.
Okay.
And I can be reached. I'm with Maximum One Realtor, Executive Realtors. And my number is 678-687-3203.
Okay. And do you have a website?
Yes, that's www. Melanie L. Smith at maximum1.com.
Wonderful. And do you sometimes help young realtors to understand the business? I heard you do that sometimes.
Oh,
kind of the
absolutely.
mentor thing.
Yes, because let me tell you, starting out in this business, I knew that my mindset was that I was going to go out and make all the money. And I always tell people, a lot of times you think that you're going to be the agent for family and friends, and sometimes you will be highly disappointed.
Yeah.
But this business, it has its high and lows. And for the most part, just having
There we go. We lost you for a second, but you're back again.
Yes. So in terms of new agents, I will be more than happy to help and assist, especially if they come over to Maximum One.
Okay.
Because what you don't want to do in this business, especially if they have a broker, the way the companies are set up, you have access to going to your broker, getting whatever information, whether it's, information you need for a contract, or it could be just dealing with other agents,
Okay.
That's what that broker's role is for. But again, if they can't get to their broker, I'll be more than happy to assist.
Wonderful. And is Maximum One also available in like Florida and Tennessee, or is it just a Georgia thing?
It's in Georgia. I know that we have an office in Alabama, and I'm not certain because I know that Maximum One has so many offices, Michelle, that we might be in other states. The good news is now where I can come in is that if, let's just say someone was moving to Arizona, I can do all the legwork, find the right or appropriate agent for that individual, and do what we call a referral. And
Okay.
but what I,
remember.
absolutely, but what I would
Kind of
do,
relocation specialist.
absolutely,
Okay.
and I would do all the legwork for that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, would you like to add anything else before we get back to work?
Well, that would be it for right now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to share it on the station, and we're going to get to working on those links so that people know how to contact you for everything that you offer. And for your ministerial services, we'll add that on the page later. When we get time. We have to take a trip real quick, and I'll catch you up tonight if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much. Love you.
Love you too, and thank you for having me, Michelle.
Oh, anytime.
All righty. Bye now.
Bye.